What goes on? Thank you for letting us be ourselves. So don't mind me if I repeat myself. These simple lines be good for your health. Keep them crime rhymes on the shelf. Live, love life like you just don't care. 5,000 leaders never scared. Rain and noise is the moment they fear. Get up, still a beautiful idea. Get up, throw your hands in the air. Get up, and share no.
Grab your pencil, vote with your feet and try not to leave your leg in the polling booth. It's Friday, we're live, and it's time for the last leg. Tonight on the show, we'll check out the results from Gorton and Denton, review the fallout from Clinton and Clinton, and preview the Paralympics in Milan and Cortina. Plus, we'll be joined by comedians Jason Manford, Lou Sanders and Bella Hull, and leader of the Green Party, Zach Polanski. On the show that always jumps headfirst into the news. G'day, I'm Adam Hills. Welcome to the last leg, the show that read the headline Green Wave and thought, what have Thames water dumped in the sea this time? With me, as always, is the pride of Dartmoor, Josh Widdicombe, and the man who thought by-election is what you're meant to say when you leave the polling booth, Alex Brooker. Nice. Harmless bit of fun.
A bit of innocent fun.
We'll bring you all the fallout of Gorton and Denton in a sec. Before we get to that, though, Emily said, is it OK that Josh is on the front cover of Runner's World magazine this week?
Well.
I assumed that was a joke.
Well.
I thought it was a joke, and then I saw this.
But why are you laughing?
Because
I'm on the cover of Runner's World magazine because I'm a runner.
It's my favourite thing you've ever done. Because,
Well,
like,
yeah,
honest,
because
Hills, like, I'm sure you feel this way, but like we've known you for 14 years.
Yeah.
And I've always seen you as like more disabled than me. And this, I love it. This is like you're going, no, I am the able-bodied one. I'm going to show you. I'm going to crouch down. I'm going to balance on the floor with my long fingers. I love it so
I had to crouch down because, look, otherwise I wouldn't have been on the cover. I'd have just...
Listen, what I love most about you is even on the front cover of a running magazine, you still kind of give off the vibes of, like, you know, a kid that forgot his PE kit?
I mean, there are other photos inside that are just as remarkable. There's this one.
Again. Here he is. Look how I can stretch my real foot and point it upwards.
That's an action shot. That's how I run.
And then there's this one.
Oh. Again, that one's quite sexy, isn't it?
Look how I can tie up my shoes. Fuck your Velcro.
In fact, if you look at all three together, it forms a little story of its own. It's like, I've lost my contact lens. Don't worry, I found my glasses, now let's go for a run. I'm really worried about you. You've given up booze, you've moved to the country, you've taken up running, you're 2 months away from being on the cover of this. Your issue is out on Wednesday, though, right?
Yes.
Did you not know that?
No.
Your issue is out on Wednesday.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to go out and buy it. Sorry, I didn't know... Is it not out?
It was in the script.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know what was going on.
I'm pretty much anchorman at this point. If it said fuck you, Seattle, I'd repeat it. Let's have a look at Josh's athletic prowess in action on a recent run, though. I'm going to say...
Oh,
okay?
yeah, I'm fine.
No, it's number 7, isn't it?
Like I said...
I'm good at running, I'm not good at walking.
Like I said, I've always seen you as more disabled than me.
Also, it's good to know that when you get hurt, what happens? Hilsey asked if I was OK.
Yeah.
And Brooker just laughed.
But, Jenny, if somebody had have said, right, one of the three on the last leg has fallen over, you'd never go with it.
Look, we think it's time you get into the trainer market, though.
Yeah.
The Josh Widdicombe trainers. Michael Jordan's got his own trainers with the Jumpman, with this logo, the iconic
the
basketball
classic
logo. So I think maybe you could have the tripping man. It could look like this. In fact, we've even made up a pair of sneakers with that.
Oh, look at that. Oh, they are cool, Hilsey.
There you go.
Chuck them over.
Yep.
Oh. Yep. Do you know what? I'm not as athletic as I thought I was. I'm not on the front of Catcher's World.
Same here.
Of course, we are live, so you can send us any questions you want to ask us about the news. Message us, Instagram, the hashtags #IsItOK. WhatsApp, the number's 07956 175 908. You can also scan the QR code on the screen, but let's get right into the big story now. Leanne, 1970, said, is it OK that the Green Party won their first by-election? You're allowed to vote with your mouths.
I know who that is. That's Zach Polanski's boyfriend, genuinely.
Yes, the results are in from last night's Gorton and Denton by-election, or as you decided to call it, the Mancunian candidate. Now, look, this by-election was seen as a huge test for Keir Starmer. Yesterday, the polls were predicting a three-horse race between Labor, Greens and Reform. This morning, we woke up to find the by-election had been won by the Green Party candidate, Hannah Spencer. There you go. Who, by the way, also happens to be a plumber, which is perfect for working in the Commons, because in order to get the job done, she's going to have to wade through a lot of shit. It's a sign of how quickly Hannah Spencer has risen that when I checked her Wikipedia page this morning, it said this. This article or section is undergoing significant expansion or restructuring. I mean, typical tradie, starts the reconstruction, then pisses off to another job.
Well, I love the fact that in her kind of her acceptance speech, her winner speech,
yeah,
she actually apologised because obviously now she's doing parliamentary work. She's going to have to cancel a load of work.
Oh, yeah.
She's got booked in a load of plumbing and plastering jobs. I just love the fact that people are like, it's just all well and good, but your Trustpilot rating is gonna plummet.
Do you reckon there was people that had her booked in that voted Reform to try and keep her as a plumber? Look, I like your policies, but I need you to come and sort out my immersion heater next week.
Wikipedia even still lists Hannah Spencer's birth year as being 1991 or 1992. That's also how you can tell she's a plumber, because it's an estimate.
On yours, it says feet, 1 or 2.
See, this is the sort of stuff he comes out with now he's running.
Funnily enough, I met a cabbie last week who's also a comedian by the name of Trevor Bickles. And ever since I met him, he's been...
Travis Bickle?
No, Trevor Bickles, I know. Of all the names for a cab driver to have. He's been sending me jokes ever since then to use on the show.
Oh, here we bloody go.
Today he sent me a message saying, as a plumber, Hannah Spencer can't wait to start work on Monday sometime between 8 a.m. and midday.
You know what? He's very good, Hilsey. I hope you're giving him a tip, because he's writing your script.
Hannah Spencer gave an impassioned speech this morning that sounded refreshingly like all the things people in this country actually want to hear right now.
And I was elected because people in this constituency want change. We are sick of being told that there's no alternative, that we should shut up and accept it as our household costs spiral and our wages fail to keep pace. That things which used to be possible, things that were normal not that long ago, free higher education, reliable and affordable buses, beaches you can safely swim at, being able to get a dentist appointment when you need one, we're told that now that is too much to ask.
I mean, it's just nice to hear someone list the problems in the country and not blame immigrants at the end of it all.
Well, no, if you play the longer clip, she does.
She says she met a cabbie who told her...
What do you think it is about this type of speech that really cut through?
Well, we live in a world, I can't believe I'm saying this, where for a politician to come across as a normal person is now considered a USP. Like, to have a politician that's comfortable and has, you know, regional accent and a job that people understand and isn't just someone who's come up through politics and doesn't look deeply uncomfortable in their own skin as Prime Minister is quite kind of refreshing, I think.
I quite like obviously, I think she spoke really well, but I quite like the fact she said, like, things that used to be normal, like being able to get, like, a dentist appointment, which now in that area is easier to get than a plumber.
I think it should be pointed out, by-elections are often lost by the government because they're considered to be a protest vote, but all of this is bad news for Keir Starmer, because all week he's been sweating like a former royal in a Pizza Express. In fact, this has been his worst week, well, since last week. The Guardian said yesterday if Labor came third, it'd be hard to see how Keir Starmer stays as Prime Minister. What does this mean for Keir Starmer now?
Do you think the geezer he gets so much bad news? It's getting to a stage now where he's not even going to look at his phone anymore. That bloke has got airplane mode written all over it.
I also think what's interesting from Labour is Andy Burnham.
Yeah.
He's having a fucking great week. Like, he stood for that. They wouldn't let him stand for it.
Yeah.
The less Andy Burnham does, the more popular he gets. Basically, if he does fuck all for another year, he'll be Prime Minister.
And look, now that the Greens have won, can Labor stop trying to be reform light? Why give people a half-assed option when they can go all the way? It's like when Scotland introduced Diet Iron Brew. It was like all of the taste but none of the sugar. Fuck, sorry, I'm here for the sugar.
I love that you've still got an annoyance with Diet Iron Brew.
I'm just saying, if people want full-fat culture wars, let them have it. Just be more fucking Labor. And while we're talking about reform, what were they thinking? You got a Prime Minister on the ropes who's blocked a local candidate from running, and you put forward a man that some people think is so obnoxious he makes Nigel Farage look like Alan Carr. Nat Goodwin said women need a biological reality check and should start having children earlier, that people who don't have children should pay more tax, and he campaigned in a gilet, which is arguably worse than the first two put together. By the way, is there an unsexier phrase than women need a biological reality check? Every ovary in this room just shriveled up in protest. Goodwin blamed the election loss on what he called a dangerous Muslim sectarianism.
I think we can all agree that it's absolutely lovely that a man called Goodwin has proved to be a terrible loser.
Also, can Reform stop banging on about being the unofficial opposition now? They've only got 8 MPs and 4 of them defected from the Tories. Yeah. I counted, the Greens have got 5, which means they have more MPs that were elected as members of their current party than Reform do. Meanwhile, the leader of the Green Party, Zach Polansky, outlined his busy schedule in a speech to Green staffers today.
Finally, because I've got a few hours of media interviews and then the last leg, which I'm very excited about.
That's right, he's coming on the show, which is just as well, because it'd be fucking weird if his boyfriend was here otherwise. I know your party's won. I'm off to the last leg.
I've got 3 tickets, Zach. It's really difficult to get them. It's a smaller studio.
Jason Manford's on. I couldn't see him in the producers. Please welcome the leader of the Green Party, Zach Polansky. So listen, full disclosure, we asked all the leaders of all parties to come on today. You said yes to this yesterday. So how confident were you then?
Well, did you think I was going to come on live TV with a bunch of comedians if I didn't think we were going to win? That would be particularly brave. Look, I've not slept. I've not slept for about 2 days. What can possibly go wrong on being on TV right now? It's all going to be fine.
When did you last sleep?
A couple of days ago, because you have the election day, then I did a media round this morning, then the party, then lots of other things, and then I've landed in this chair. It's a bit like a fever dream, which is last leg kind of... that's the vibe anyway, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You really sound like you're committed to legalising drugs. Oh, except for 2 days.
So what's your takeaway from the result?
Well, largely, I'm worried about the call-out charge from sending a plumber from Manchester to Westminster, I think. But quite seriously, this was a victory for Gorton and Denton, but frankly, the entire country. We've seen hope triumph over hate. We've seen courage triumph over cynicism. We've seen, I probably need to come up with a 3rd sentence, because that's what politicians do. But it feels like a...
God, you are tired, aren't you?
2 out of 3's all right.
Yeah, you'll take 2.
I love it when someone blocks themselves in and goes, oh, fuck this up.
We've won the election now. I don't need.
You don't need that 3rd thing. And look, I think it's kind of remarkable you won, because look at considering staggering sentiment on the streets like this.
That I'm not going to vote for the Greens.
Why not Green?
Because 2 weeks ago, when the entourage were in a cafe, they walked out of the cafe and didn't close the door behind them.
They should have done that, I know, but is that a reason not to vote for the candidate?
Actions speak louder than words.
I mean, I'm really worried about this. Some people don't close doors. Other people sell state secrets, notorious paedophiles. I mean, politicians are all the same.
Have you identified the door opener?
I mean, I did have nightmares that we were going to lose by 1 vote, and I was going to be left the door open.
We've had a lot of messages about you being on the show. Mr. Carew Forever said, "Is it okay that Zach wants everyone to be allowed to get high on drugs?" I'm not sure that was official policy. It was said, but I wanted to ask you about this. It was said during the campaign you wanted to legalise all drugs, including heroin and crack cocaine. Keir Starmer said you were going to, or suggested you were going to legalise the so-called date rape drug GHB. So what is the actual drugs policy?
Well, Keir Starmer's, those are smears, and it's actually outrageous. And I'm on a comedy show, but it's important to pretty much point out that we have the highest drug deaths in the whole of Europe. So the war on drugs is just not working. That's the first place we need to start. We can't carry on with what we're doing. So what we're saying, and I don't think it's contentious, is we need to regulate and control drugs. What does that look like? It looks like making a public health approach about harm reduction. If someone's going to buy a drug, right now they might go on a street corner or down a back alleyway. That's dangerous and that's causing drug gangs. What I'm saying is if someone has a dangerous relationship with drugs, they're addictive, let's make sure that they have a public health approach that's in the National Health Service. They can get the support they need.
So what would that mean practically in terms of, a shop's going to be selling drugs, like pubs sell drugs?
The Met Commissioner did ask me...
Where were you when I was a fucking student? We used to have an ice cream van in Manchester that pretended it was selling students in a queue ice cream.
Yeah, and you know who that guy voted for at the election.
I mean, there are drugs that are dangerous, and those clearly need to be regulated really carefully. On the other side of it, I'd say if someone wants a spliff with the Green Party, you let them get on with it.
So it wouldn't be... You're not talking about just making, blanket, going from drugs are... All drugs are, all these Class A's are all illegal to, just all suddenly, you can go and get them on...
No, that would be ridiculous. And the fact the Prime Minister's suggesting it kind of shows the level that he's thinking of in terms of actually having a sensible drug policy. This is about a transition, making sure it's evidence-based, making sure that it's experts in both drug policy and also health policy who are making these decisions.
Well, look, there was a lot of what you called, Alex, by-election shithousery. Labor was said to be behind
Technical
a bunch...
term.
Yeah. Labor were said to be behind a bunch of supposedly independent tactical voting flyers that look like this. It looked like, hey, that's the... Did you see that? Were you across that?
I did see it.
Yeah.
Tactical Choice being a completely fictional company.
Made up by the Labor Party, right?
Yeah.
But then Labor said your lot had dirty tactics too. You had a poll like this in your leaflets that said only the Greens can stop reform in Gorton and Denton. But that graph wasn't polling. That was the percentage by which votes would change. So if you looked at the whole poll, Labor was still in the lead. So are you kind of coming up with a dodgy way of presenting that?
I think we need to apologise for that because it made Matt Goodwin think that he had a chance.
Oh, we were so close to getting a genuine apology from a politician then.
Is it a case of that they're doing it, so you have to fight back with similar tactics, or...?
I think there's a big difference. So the Labour Party yesterday had a van going around it with mine and Hannah Spencer's face on it that said we wanted to legalise prostitution for people's daughters, that they were talking about selling crack in playgrounds. I mean, it was pretty dystopian what they were going to. I think there's a tradition in British politics that there are bar charts where you present your best case. But I would say these are very, very different cases. And I think the problem that we're having right now are these things are all being blurred. Ultimately, though, I want to see politics cleaned up. I want to see proportional representation. I want to see every single vote count. And yes, I want to see a plumber and a plasterer become a parliamentarian, so I've done that bit. Now let's make sure that she gets in there and cleans up politics.
And look, now that you're on your way up, the offers are going to start coming in, possibly maybe even from magazines. So we'd like to prepare you for that. We've got one over here. Would you mind just going behind that, putting your head through the hole? And Josh is going to do the unveiling. We think this might be the way to take your image the next step.
You ready?
My face can't fit in that.
Amazing.
Oh, it looks good.
Come on back. Let's have a look how that photo turned out. Yeah, lovely. Absolutely.
I can't squat that deep. That's impressive.
All right, do you want to go over that side, sit with these guys while I bring on tonight's guests?
Yes, I do.
3 great candidates, not a gilet between them. Comedians Jason Manford, Lou Sanders and Bella Hull. quick thoughts. What did you guys all make of the by-election?
Loved it.
Loved it?
Look, one of my favourites. I've never been more disappointed than the words bi and three-way being put together before in my life, to be honest. Very disappointed when I picked up the paper this morning.
Lou?
I liked it. I loved Hannah's speech, not the one that you showed, the one where she was crying. It does go to show that women do get emotional. And by that, I mean when I watched it, I cried, and then I cried again watching Carol Vorderman crying watching it as well.
Bella?
I'm just, like, I don't know that much about politics, but I was really surprised that a by-election was national news. Because I just think, like, it's 2026, like, it's fine to be bi.
Yeah, a by-election, by the way, is
Even
when...
if you're in an election, like, it's fine.
Yeah, it's when the polls swing both ways. That's
exactly.
Do you have any questions you'd like to throw at Zach? Yes.
Hi.
Scarier than question time right now.
Yeah. Hi, Zach.
Hey, Bella.
How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I have one question. So you've already talked quite a lot about how you want to legalise drugs. I just want to ask you if you have any on you right now, because my dealer is ghosting me.
I just have the dopamine from having won a by-election.
Look, if politics doesn't work out, comedy's working for you. You have an answer for everything.
Oh, yeah. Are you Hillsy's taxi driver?
Any other questions?
Well, you know, like, MDMA opens your heart chakra, right? We all know that.
Yeah, thinking about that.
Well, if, like, you legalise MDMA and then the Reform Party, they're sort of, you know, they're more open-hearted, would you go to Ayia Napa with Nigel Farage?
I don't think there's a drug hard enough to maybe...
Look, now that Hannah Spencer is an MP, as we said, she apparently she won't be able to finish all the plastering jobs she's got lined up. So, I mean, you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to step up and you're going to have to fill the void. So we want to put your plastering to the test tonight.
Oh, God.
We've set up a wall over here. Lou, do you want to have a crack against Zach, see who's the better plasterer?
I had a plasterer around my house and I thought I could probably do this.
Yeah, right, OK.
And I actually said that to him and it didn't go down well.
I thought that with the comedians.
But before we do, is there a chance you could call Hannah?
For sure.
And maybe get her to judge, like, FaceTime...
Oh, my God, if she's too busy for it, it's going to be so...
It's going to be very, very, very...
Also,
Oh, she just sends you to answer phone.
also, how much is it for a call-out fee now at this time of night?
It's ringing awkwardly. You're going to have to fill some time.
Are you FaceTiming?
I am FaceTiming.
What if she answers in a towel?
Hello, Hannah Spencer.
Oh, my God, it's her.
So, Hannah, first big question, and I know we're all wondering it. Were you born in 1991 or 1992?
Shall I reveal this now, or shall I, like, sign up for an exclusive with, like, OK or Hello?
Oh, you've changed. Already. Go on. Or do you want to keep it a mystery?
It's a very personal question.
No, it's a good point. A good point.
You should never ask a plumber her age.
I'm sorry.
How much do you weigh?
Yeah.
What was that?
How much do you weigh?
Yeah, how much do you weigh? Let's go with that one. All right, I tell you what.
Keep it a mystery, because I think it'll become clear in a few days, a few months.
Hannah, I'm coming over to take you over to watch the plastering that goes on. Zach and Lou, do you want to come with me? So, if you guys would like to, we've got a wall here. I'm going to show you the wall. Lou and Zach have 30 seconds to plaster as much of the wall as they possibly can.
In plastic and being
This is a very bad start from Lou Sanders.
Lou can't put a poncho on. There you go.
Hillsy, start the clock.
Sorry, is this a live show?
Oh, Zach insisted on a poncho because apparently he's only got one suit.
Yeah, it's true.
You've only got one suit. And we have
the suit
and
off.
that's recycling. He's so green.
Yeah, thank you very much.
OK, 30 seconds. Your stuff's down here. Plaster away.
Can
Go.
I just say, I fell out. Oh, this side.
This side.
Yeah, the side that's on the camera, Lou.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to say...
Yeah, do you know what? Zach is legalising drugs. He's used to getting plastered.
Lovely.
I know, right?
I'm going to say Hannah's loving it at the moment.
It's really hard, though.
OK, time's up. Hannah, from what you can see there, who do you think's done the better job?
And don't rig the election.
Can you show me again?
OK,
She's taking it very seriously.
Let's lose wall.
It's like before and after. Zach's is
That's
before.
Zach's wall.
Because they're both really good.
No. Fucking hell, you're already a politician. Give an answer. Give an answer.
I think I'm gonna have to go with lose.
He wants a recount. We'll have more last week for you after the break. We'll check in on Mandy and Andy. We'll dish the dirt with Bill and Hillary. Thanks. Thanks, Hannah. Bye. See you in a little bit. Welcome back to Last Leg. We're joined by Bella Hull, Lou Sanders, Jason Manford and Zach Polanski. I should just point out, no politicians have sold state secrets. Some have been accused of passing on market-sensitive information.
Of course.
Just stopped you being sued.
Allegedly.
Let's get into disability.
I love the fact that you didn't have to mention the paedophile bit, though. No problem with that. No problem with that. That's fine. That's fine. That's the thing they're really coming down on you.
All right. On to disability news. Ben said, is it OK that John Davidson is facing backlash for his Tourette's at the BAFTAs? Now, if you don't know this, John Davidson is a Tourette syndrome campaigner whose life was turned into a BAFTA award-winning film. On Sunday, he was at the awards ceremony where his Tourette's caused him to shout involuntary noises, some of which were massively offensive. One was a horrific racial slur, another said proceedings were boring, and on another occasion, he shouted the word paedophile when the host made a joke about Paddington Bear. And if anyone saw Paddington's attempted jokes later in the show, you'll know that wasn't the worst thing to happen to him that night. And look, we can't imagine what it must be like to have a racial slur shouted at you, no matter the reason, but we do know what it's like to be disabled. There has to be a duty of care to make sure people with disabilities are supported. There also needs to be a duty of care to make sure people of colour feel they're in a safe space as well. And it feels like none of this was effectively done on the night. The BBC have apologised for airing the racial slur. BAFTA have also apologised. Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo said no one from BAFTA spoke to them immediately afterwards to explain what had happened. Although Paddington did offer them a hug and said, I know, tough crowd. The BBC have said they are now investigating the incident.
The BBC apologise and investigate so many incidents these days. Do you reckon they've just got, like, a template that they put out? The BBC apologise for... insert crisis here. We will launch an urgent internal investigation into why... insert crisis here.
Look, let's move on now. Hannah said, is it OK that the UK have made 2 high-profile arrests in a week over the Epstein files and the US haven't? Now, while more allegations surfaced about Donald Trump in the Epstein files, former President Bill Clinton and his wife Hillary gave evidence this week about their ties to convicted sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. What do we think, Bill and Hillary?
I mean, couples that give evidence together stay together. That's...
I think it's so romantic that they're testifying together. You know, like, it's really important to make time for date night and...
Let's get a hotel in DC.
Yeah, let's make a weekend of it.
Yeah.
Should we be matching pyjamas?
Exactly. That's what they made a weekend of it in the Epstein files.
Well, Bill Clinton said today, quote, I saw nothing and I did nothing wrong, which is kind of the 2026 version of I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Yeah. You know, it's just nice to see someone from the 90s doing their old hits again, you know? Meanwhile, the fallout from the Epstein files continued this week as activists hung this iconic photo of the Andrew, formerly known as Prince, in the Louvre. If you look really closely, the red eyes follow you around the room. I mean, fair play to them. That was a great stunt. I do think it would have been ballsier to have done this, though.
He's too old for him.
On Monday, former ambassador to the... Well, look, OK, you've been watching all of this Andrew stuff and the Mandelson stuff go down over the past few weeks. What's your take on it?
Are you trying to get me sued? You know, the monarchy, I'm not a huge fan of the monarchy, and people say, do I want to abolish it? But actually, I think they're doing a pretty good job of abolishing themselves. I think, you know, you're slowly seeing public interest be less and less interested. And I think it's really important that anyone, whatever public institution they are, come forward with what they knew, what information they might or might not have known, and just come clean on it. And while we're abolishing public institutions, let's be done with the Labour Party.
So thought you were going to say Channel 4 then. On Monday, former ambassador to the US Peter Mandelson was arrested for misconduct in public office after the police were informed that he was at risk of fleeing to the British Virgin Islands.
I think he'd misunderstood what the British Virgin Islands are.
Yeah. Of all the places. Like, Pete, go to Mallorca, son.
I mean, do you think he was going to flee?
I feel like the nickname Prince of Darkness was, like, a bit of a clue. I don't know, like, if I heard that someone's nickname was Prince of Darkness, I wouldn't invite them to my baby shower.
Yeah.
But I would ask them on a Hinge date.
Why?
Because I love a project.
Here's an exposing snap of Mandelson's arrest.
Is that an arrest, or is that just that thing where you get caught behind a slow walker on the pavement?
Yeah. Or when you have, like, a race with a stranger and the stranger doesn't know they're in the race with you. That's always good. Always good, isn't it?
That's such a good observation. I thought it was just me,
not
Jason.
Just you. No, it's not just you.
Just Runner's World over there.
Yeah.
You know the Runner's World thing? It's funny because we all, like, brag or like, drop into conversation, like, oh, yeah, I went on a run today, but you've actually done a photo shoot. But Mandelson, I think, is mad that he sold so many secrets. And if, you know, with Hannah, there won't be any leaks because she's a plumber.
Yeah, true. It needed it. It needed to be said. I love it.
Oh, if you like our puns,
yeah.
They didn't.
then I haven't got one for you.
Well, it turns out the person who tipped the police off about Mandelson was the Speaker of the House of Commons, Sir Lindsay Hoyle.
But he didn't say what. Like, he said he got information.
Yeah.
I think he's just seen Mandelson in boots buying some Pizboo and one of them little toothpastes.
Lindsay Hoyle got told because he was on a work trip to the British Virgin Islands.
Yes.
What the fuck's that work trip? He's the Speaker. His job is literally just telling people to be quiet. That's all. Oh, the rum is good for my throat, yeah.
Peter Mandelson complained that the claim he was planning to flee the country was baseless. He's understood to have texted a journalist at 4 a.m. to brief against the Met Police.
That's always a sign of innocence, isn't it? 4 a.m. text. It's not like he's been up all night worrying about it. I better do this now before this digs in.
4 a.m. text, that's got a real whiff of Zach's drug policy about it.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Andrew's reportedly been told to avoid his favourite hobby of horse riding.
Well, it's not his favourite hobby, is it? Let's be honest.
Right, Jason, what's his favourite hobby?
Allegedly, I'm learning selling state secrets or paedophile. I can't remember, one of the two.
Opening cafe doors and leaving them open.
Unforgivable. Unforgivable.
Should he be allowed to ride a horse?
I heard a rumour that every time Andrew gets on a horse, the horse breaks its own legs.
I think you should be allowed to ride on a horse, but only in specific areas, like a lake that's frozen over.
I just think it's a weird thing to, like, stamp down on. Do you know what I mean? Like, of all the things he's done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and no horse riding. Do you know what I mean? It's such a weird thing to get annoyed about, you know?
An Australian TV interview surfaced this week in which a member of the Royal Protection Team revealed that the then Prince Andrew's nickname at the palace was not a great one. Get ready for this.
Did Prince Andrew have a nickname at that time?
Well, his official code, so if he was to come into the palace, he would call his call sign was Purple 41. But he did have a nickname, but it's a bit rude for me to tell you one I'll tell you, but you're not going to be able to air it. It was just called... Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
It was called the cunt.
also, that's not really a nickname. You know, who's coming out tonight? We've got Steve-O, the Odd Monster. You're not getting on a stag do T-shirt.
You wouldn't think when they removed his royal name, they also removed that.
And look, over the last few weeks, we've illustrated the plight of Andrew and Peter Mandelson with the Barry Manilow song Mandy. Tonight, we're going to end the show with another Barry Manilow song to wrap up this week's events. Get your feather boas ready. But next week, also, the Winter Paralympics kick off in Milan Cortina. The opening ceremony's live on Channel 4 on Friday at 6:30. We're going to be on afterwards, of course, at 10. After the break, we're going to preview it all for you. But to whet your appetite, here are some of the highlights of what happened in Beijing 4 years ago.
Silver in Super G. Beautiful style, big air there. I hope one of you come back.
Gold to China on home ice.
Taking it all for us. Doing it all for love. Neil Simpson has tasted gold.
We'll have more last week for you after the break. We'll preview the Paras. We'll unmask the mystery guest. We'll see you in a little bit. Welcome back to Last Leg. We're joined by Bella Hull, Lou Sanders, Jason Manford and Zach Polanski. Now, the Winter Paralympics kick off next Friday. The opening ceremony is on before us. The Games will be available to watch on Channel 4. It's the 50th anniversary of the first Winter Paralympics. This year, the sports include para-alpine skiing, para-biathlon, para-cross-country skiing, para-ice hockey, para-snowboard and wheelchair curling. If you're wondering, this creative clip is not wheelchair curling.
What I love is everyone's a bit nervous watching that clip until he cheers at the end so they know he was in on it.
Medal hopes for GB include snowboarder Davy Ziv, who's thought to be the first snow sport athlete with motor neurone disease to compete at the Games. Other hopefuls include six-time medalist Menna Fitzpatrick and the Paralympic champion in the Super G event, Neil Simpson. There's a whole bunch of others. Very excited. How excited are you? Do you guys get excited? Are you a sports fan, Bella? OK.
I just like the fact that so many of the sports just look like they've been made up by a PE teacher on snow day. Like, in just a mad panic to fill an hour. Get a tea tray and get down that hill. Get the sweeping brushes out.
Alex is going to unveil... So, of course, every year there's a mascot, and Alex is going to unveil the mascot, our mascot for the Paralympics in a sec. Do you need to go and prepare the mascot?
Yeah, of course, yeah. I'll go and get the mascot for you, mate.
OK, while Alex does that, here's a montage of all the Winter Paralympic sports that we've attempted in the past.
You're as cold as ice. You're willing to sacrifice our love. You never take advice.
This could be your sport, Alex.
Yeah, it could be.
Is that him?
You're as cold as ice. You're willing to sacrifice our love.
I got an assist.
But someday you'll pay the price. I know. I've seen it before. It happens all the time. Oh my goodness! Oh my God!
it.
Now, in Paris, we had this little guy, Hans, as our mascot. But we've gone a little bigger and a little better and a little snowier for Milan Cortina. Alex, would you like to bring out our mascot for the Winter Paralympics, please?
Baby, if you got to go away, don't think of it, take the pain. Won't you stay
Shit. You're the one who wants to legalise drugs, mate. Well, hang on. Am I in? Oh, there we are.
All right, let's bring on this week's mystery guest. Bella, Lou and Jason and Zach have to try and work out how this person is connected to the news. Can we have the mystery guest, please?
Mysterious guest.
Josh, Alex, who's the mystery guest?
This is Keith. Keith has been in the news this week. But why? Can we have the dramatic lighting change, please?
Got the card, Josh.
Oh, there's the card with the info for you. Oh, my God, not up there. Sorry. I think I just gave Alex a colonic.
So, this is Keith. But why has he been in the news this week after he got 444 tattooed on his arm? Is it because A, he is a coach driver who had his route tattooed on his arm? B, he is a huge fan of his local Chinese takeaway, the Blue Orchid, and in exchange for free meals, he had the number of his favourite dish tattooed? Or is it C, he is a Forfar fan and there was a mix-up at the tattoo studio?
We will reveal the mystery guest after the break. Josh is also going to wrap up the last 7 days, and we're going to end the show with a Barry Manilow-inspired musical number for Andy and Mandy. We'll see you in a little bit. Welcome back to Last Leg. We're joined by Bella Hull, Lou Sanders, Jason Manford and Zach Polanski. Before the break, we challenged our guests to work out how this person was connected to the news. Josh, Alex, can we have the options again, please?
So this is Keith, and he was in the news this week after he got 444 tattooed on his arm. But was it because he's a coach driver who had his route tattooed? Is it because he's a huge fan of his local Chinese and had the number of his favourite dishing? Or is it because he is a Forfar fan and there was a mix-up at the tattoo studio?
Now, we don't have much time, but what do you all think?
I was at a press conference this morning. How am I doing this?
That's all right, mate. I used to be a journalist. Don't worry about it.
OK, we'll go to the people who've had...
If you're a coach driver, what's your favourite coach then?
Scania.
Huh?
Scania.
Scania.
Now that's interesting. Probably the name of a coach, but I wouldn't know. What are your 3 favourite Chinese dishes?
Spare ribs, egg fried rice and pancake rolls.
Yeah, and that's not a Scottish accent, is it? So that feels like the Forfar fan is not right.
OK, we need an answer, What do you think?
3.
I think it's Chinese restaurant.
I think it's Chinese.
Have you got another question?
Yeah, I think it's Chinese.
Yeah, Chinese.
OK, Keith, can you reveal the answer, please?
The answer is coach driver. It's my route number of my service.
Oh, fair play. Fair play. Yeah. You know what? I've just seen a little dog paw now, and that would be distasteful, actually, if it was the Chinese restaurant, so fair enough. That would be actually really offensive, so I'm glad it's not.
What is the dog paw? Does the dog come with?
That's my dog.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And you
That checks out.
How long have you been driving that route?
I've been driving for 16 years for Bennett's Coaches and National Express.
Yeah.
Doing Gloucester to London.
But other coaches do exist.
Yeah.
The coaches do exist. Yeah. And what I love is it's on your arm, so that if you've got your arm out the window, passing drivers know which coach it is as well. Keith, thank you so much, and congratulations.
Lovely.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
We are about to end the show with a song for Andy and Mandy, but before we do, would you please thank all our guests tonight? Bella Hull, Lou Sanders, Jason Manford, Zach Polanski. And, of course, my co-host, Josh Widdicombe. Alex Brooker. We'll be back next week with comedians Nick Mohammed and Vittorio Angeloni and former Conservative politician Penny Mordaunt. Right now, though, we want to end the show with a song for both Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor and Peter Mandelson, who have been arrested for misconduct in public office. Now, both Mandelson and Andrew deny any wrongdoing, but if they are found guilty, there's a world in which they both end up in prison. And in that world, they might even be cellmates. We're going to take you into that world now with the help of Charlie Baker, Barry Manilow, and a very special guest.
His name was Andy. He was an envoy. He flew on a private jet and he said he couldn't sweat. He said that he just went out for pizza. But when it went a bit too far, he got bailed out by his ma. He was a pompous bore. He worked from 3 till 4, till half a dozen coppers kicked down his front door, saying, Andrew Mountbatten, your life seems to follow a pattern. Yeah, he's Andrew Mountbatten, sponging and blagging while drinking and shagging. That was Andrew. He's going down. His name was Mandy. He was an MP. That was 30 years ago. Now his stocks are running low. Hung out with Epstein and wore his hoodie. Though he didn't like females, he got busted for email. They said he did a crime. His bunk's already mine. I lost my job. I lost my title. Now we're doing time. Now we're both in the slammer. They thought I was off to Havana. Yeah, we're both in the slammer. Diving and ducking and flying and fucking in the slammer. We're going down.
Thanks for watching The Last Leg. My name's Adam Hill. See you next week for the next leg.